Hi, and welcome to part 3. Let's have a look at some of the programs on the HTC Tytn. I've installed quite a few of my own programs on here. Let's have a look at what comes as standard. Obviously ActiveSync, Adobe Reader LE. I don't really use that too much, but apparently that's a much nicer Adobe Acrobat Reader than the standard one. Audio Manager, let's bring that up again. Typical HTC player, very nice, very easy to use. Just going to the menu for this. You can add a new playlist, change the playback mode from repeat to shuffle. You can look at the properties of the song that you're currently listening to. In your library, let's see, you can change your playlists. I've only got a couple of playlists on here, I'm not a great music listener, and it just works very well. So Audio Manager, thumbs up on that one. Bluetooth Explorer for file transfers with Bluetooth. Bluetooth is fine. Calculator. Have a look at the camera. I can start the camera actually just by pressing the camera button, so let's do that. Okay, so up comes the camera, and this is a 3 megapixel camera, and I've just sort of realised something. I've not really used the camera at all. If I want to take a photograph, I use a proper dedicated digital camera, so I don't really bother with these too much. They're useful now and again. That's showing me how many photographs I've got left on the store, or I can store on the storage card. Looks like not too many when you consider I've got a 6 gig card in there, but I've actually got about 5 gig used, so that's the answer to that one. Look at the menu. You've got several options at the bottom. We'll just go through each of those. Okay, so let's have a look at some of the functions of the camera, or some of the settings you can play with. Let's bring up the menu. On the first one, you've got the self timer, which you can switch on and off. On the storage, you can switch between storage card or main memory to store your photos. With a 3 megapixel camera, you really need a storage card, so get yourself a micro SD card for this. You then got your white balance settings, and then you can set some effects: grayscale, sepia, cool or negative. Okay, then you have the resolution, and at the moment it's set to 3 megapixels, which will give you a resolution of 1536 by 2048 pixels, or you can change that to 2 megapixels, which is 1200 by 16, 1 megapixel 960 by 1280, right down to a mere 120 by 160. Which I would imagine is the sort of size that you'd need for contacts photos for your contacts list. Camera, you can switch between the front or second camera, the flip camera, or that camera there on the front of the device. Why you'd want to do that I don't know, because the one on there is not so hot. But I'm sure there's all sorts of useful reasons for that. You can change the quality from fine, super fine, normal, basic, and so on. Metering mode, which basically gives you, let's get rid of that for a minute, when you're actually taking a photo, it really depends on the area of the screen that the camera is judging for autofocus, I guess, has a lot to do with that particular setting. Where were we? And then you can switch the timestamp on and off for your photos. You can also choose from an ordinary photo, video, MMS video, a contacts picture, picture theme. Not actually looked at that before. I'm not sure what it's going to do. woman and man. Well, I'm not sure why it suddenly closed down there. That was a bit odd. But you can also change settings at the top there. Sports, go back through them again. Panorama. Haven't played with all of these things yet. This may probably mean more to you than it does to me at this moment in time. But you can see all the different shoot options you can take there. And the final set of settings gives you the opportunity to change the capture format. Well, it's only JPEG, so I'm not sure why it gives you that choice. It seems to just be JPEG and nothing else, which is fine. You can switch the shutter sound on and off. I don't normally like sounds, but I have to say that the shutter sound is probably very useful because you know when it's finished taking the photo, so more often than not leave that on. Shoot option. Now this will be full press or half press, and basically as I was explaining in one of my other videos, the camera button there is like a two-stage process. You press it halfway down to focus and then all the way down to take the photo, and I think what that's saying there is you can take the photo with just a half press if you want to, but I suggest you leave it on full press, otherwise you won't get the full benefit of the autofocus. Keep the backlight on or off. On probably favourite, and you can also have a review duration, so after you've taken the photograph it will come up on screen so you can see what you've taken, and you can leave it for 3 seconds, 10 seconds, or permanently until you press a button, or not review it at all. Now, to allow you to use the camera with as much finger pressing as possible, so you're not getting the stylus out, and those buttons that I was using the stylus with earlier on are certainly big enough to use with finger. Down at the bottom here you've got another little menu option there where you can change the resolution again, white balance, the EV, never really understood that, I'm not a great photographer I'm afraid. And again you can switch the storage from internal to memory card, and finally that button there will switch between the main camera at the back to the camera at the front. I won't do that because I'll be showing the face, and you know, if you're having your dinner or something at the moment that will be very unpleasant for you, so I won't do that. Okay, so we're back in the programs menu. We've looked at audio manager, we looked at the camera. Com manager, again, typical HTC communications manager. Obviously flight mode to switch off all your transmitters. You can switch your phone on and off, Bluetooth, wireless LAN, and there's facilities here for Microsoft Direct Push and also data connection. These are all greyed out, they don't seem to do anything, haven't worked out what they're all about yet. You can change the ringer from vibrate to ring, another option there for changing the sound settings there. Internet show, and also active sync, which you can switch on and off. I actually connect 2 PCs using active sync, one with both cable, i.e. USB and Bluetooth, and the other at work just by cable. Works absolutely fine. Probably one thing to bear in mind with active sync is that if you're using Windows XP and a Windows Mobile 6 device, you have to use active sync version 4.5, and one of the downsides of that is that it's very slow, or it can be very slow, and the reason is, as I understand, is because when it's syncing, particularly if you have a lot of calendar contacts, it's spending an awful lot of time checking the dates of calendar entries, and for example, and also it seems to take an awful long time to sync up contacts, and I've got a lot of those, but there you go. Okay, so that's it for this video, and in the next one we'll have a look at some more of the features of the HTC Tytn, particularly the all-important GPS. So that's it for this one.